By now, you should have already learned your Sunsalutes. If not, then there is a playlist that will go through the Sunsalutes. Today, I am going to assume that you know how to do those, and we're always trying to memorize in Ashtanga Vinyasa Yoga what is the next pose. So hopefully by now it's pretty close to memorized. I will call it out to help you, and you will be able to see me. Hopefully we're doing this together as you turn on this video. All right, so we're just going to begin. I'm going to pretend like you are in the room, and I'm just going to talk as if you're right here. Always let me know if there is a problem in your practice and if there's any questions. It's not ideal to do this in a live stream situation, in a recorded situation. Ideally, we would be right here and have immediate feedback. But it's really hard to get schedules together. So we're going to give this a try. Hopefully it helps you. So at the top of your mat, bring your feet to the ground and notice how that feels. Feel the feet, feel the ground and where they connect. You're going to push your feet down into the ground and pull your sternum up towards the ceiling. And then make sure that your shoulders are lowered. So it's very tempting to reach the sternum up and then bring the shoulders up. You want the shoulders to be down while the sternum is up and the feet are on the ground. This really is the basis of all that we do in yoga, any kind of yoga. It's becoming aware of how our body is put together and what we can do to create greater alignment. Bringing your hands together in Anjali Mudra or prayer, the thumb is touching the sternum, and you're continuing to focus on that feeling of the feet to the ground, sternum high, maybe the crown of the head you think of being high towards the ceiling, but then focusing on the shoulders coming down. Feel the glutes. If they are really tight, loosen them. And breathe. In Ashtanga Vinyasa Yoga, it always starts with an invocation. I'm not going to do the full invocation today. I'm simply going to do 3 Oms. If you're home and can, say them with me. This is really a good thing for the vibration at the subtle level in your body. So breathing again. Exhale the air. Inhale and then Om. Bring your hands to your sides. Inhale, look up to the thumbs in your first Sunsalute. Exhale, forward fold. Hands on the ground, knees can be bent, head down. Inhale, look up. Keep the gaze forward as you step back. You're in high plank. Maybe you drop your knees to go into low plank. Inhale, upward facing dog. So feel the length in the spine. Exhale, downward facing dog. 5 breaths here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Bring the right foot forward and the left foot forward. Halfway lift, looking up and out. Exhale, forward fold one more time. Inhale, bring the hands up over the head. And exhale, the hands to the side. Samasthiti. Repeat. Inhale, hands could go out to the side or forward and up. Exhale, hands down, head down. Inhale, look up and out. Shoulders wide. Exhale, step back. high plank into a low plank. If you want to drop your knees, that's fine. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. 5 breaths. Feel your midsection going toward the ceiling. Feel your heels dropping towards the ground. Feel your shoulders wide. Feel your fingers wide like a starfish. And this is the last exhale. 5. Inhale, look forward, come forward, halfway lift, looking up and out. Exhale the head down. Inhale, hands overhead, look to the thumbs. And exhale, Samasthiti. One more Sunsalute A. Inhale. Exhale, forward. Inhale, looking up and out. Exhale, step back. High plank to low plank, whatever that looks like for you. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. 5 breaths. Inhale. Exhale, 1. Inhale. Exhale. That's 2. Inhale. Exhale. That's 3. Inhale. Exhale. 4. Inhale. Exhale. 5. Step forward, right foot, left foot, halfway lift, looking up and out. Exhale, down. Inhale, stand, hands overhead. And exhale, Samasthiti. Surya Namaskar, we bend the knees, sweep the hands up, look above the head. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, look up and out. Exhale, step back, high plank to low plank. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Step forward with the right foot in a lunge. Inhale the hands up. Look to the thumbs. Exhale the hands down. Step back and high plank to low plank. Let's kind of move fast through these. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Second side, left foot forward. Inhale, look up. Exhale, step back. Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. 5 breaths again here. 1. 2. Remember to lift at the center, but drop the heels. 3. 4. Wide fingers, wide shoulders. Last breath. On the inhale, step forward. Look up and out. Exhale the head down. Bend the knees as you sweep the hands up. Samasthiti. One more, Surya Namaskar. Bend the knees, sweep up, look to the thumbs. Exhale, head down. Inhale, shoulders wide as you look up and out. Exhale, step back, high plank to low plank. Elbows close to the ribs. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Step forward with the right foot in lunge. Inhale the hands up. Exhale the hands down, step back. Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog, 5 breaths. And exhale, 5. Next inhale, step forward, halfway lift, looking up and out. Exhale the head down. Bend the knees as you sweep the hands up. And Samasthiti. We just did 3 Surya Namaskar A, 2 Surya Namaskar B. The goal eventually is to have 5 of each. So as we go from this first series, the Sunsalute series, the next thing is to do some standing poses. I'm going to teach you 2 sets of standing poses that come after Surya Namaskar A and B. So with that Samasthiti at the top of the mat, bring your feet apart in like they're right underneath your hips, hands on your waist or hips, pull up out of the pelvis, and then come into a forward fold, taking the toes with your fingers. So they go, the first and second finger go between the first and second toe. The thumb is on the outside and creates like the OK sign. So inhale, straighten the spine. Exhale, the head down. This is forward fold. 5 breaths here. That's 3, 4, one more breath. 5, on the inhale, just straighten the arms, come partway up, and then step on the hands. So palms underneath the sole of the foot. Inhale, elongate the spine. Exhale, the head forward. This is forward fold B. 5 breaths. 1, 2, if you need to bend your knees, that's okay. Just work on the hamstrings. 3, getting bit by bit more long. 4, one more. And 5. Inhale, bring your hands to your waist, but stay down. Exhale there. Inhale, stand up. 2 feet together in the middle. Samasthiti. So those were your set of forward folds. We're going to do a second set of poses, triangle. Putting the hands on the hips, step back with your right foot and then pivot so that your right foot is pointing towards the short end of the mat. In my case, it's towards the wall. The back foot is on a 45-degree angle. Now bring the hands, tee out the arms, palms forward, up and out of the pelvis, and then tip over like a teapot. This is triangle 1 or Utthita Trikonasana A. And 5 breaths here. One more breath. 5. Now inhale, tee out the arms, palms are forward, pivot the feet so that the left foot is pointing to the opposite side of the mat from where you were. Exhale down and inhale, that right arm is up. You can look towards the right arm if it's okay for your neck and shoulder, or you can just look straight forward. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Inhale, tee out the arms. We're going to do the reverse or the twisted triangle. So feet go back to the original position with the right foot pointing to the top. And the left arm comes past mid and comes down. So notice how we're twisting the triangle here. The hand can go up in the air. If that bothers your shoulder, you can lay it on your back. And 5. Now, if you found yourself out of balance, you can heel toe your foot a little bit wider so you have a wider base. But we're going to rotate, pivot on the feet, bring the right hand past the center and down. And this is Trikonasana B, or the second triangle, or twisted triangle. It's okay if you're falling out of the pose. I used to fall out of this pose constantly. One more breath. And exhale. Inhale, come up. Those arms are still teed out. And then bring the feet together at the top of the mat. Samasthiti. All right, so we have done the series of Sunsalutes. Now, those were the first 2 series in the standing poses for Ashtanga Vinyasa Yoga. There are many, many, many more poses in standing. We're just going to do those 2 today and try to memorize that this week. We're going to do a Vinyasa. Vinyasa is a Sunsalute A without holding the downward facing dog for 5 breaths. And then we're going to sit down. So inhale, bring the hands overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, look up and out. Shoulders wide. Exhale, step back. High plank to low plank. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. And then just sit down in a comfortable seated position, whatever that is for you, to start with. The seated positions always start with the feet forward in this position called Dandasana. And that's the first seated pose. The hands go on the floor next to your hips, opening the shoulders wide, and you're just sitting tall. Your Dandasana might be way back here because you have very tight hamstrings. No problem. Just do whatever you can. And some people feel like they can't quite get their hands to the mat. That will change as you continue to do this practice. Part of the reason is because your shoulders have the habit of being up too high. So try to really lower the shoulders. And this is 5 breaths. So I've talked long enough for you to have 5 breaths. Now we're going to do seated forward fold. So bring your hands and pull yourself up out of the pelvis and come forward. Now this may be as far as you can come. You might have to bend your knees to come forward at all. Eventually, if you keep doing this practice, you will go further and further forward, and you could take your toes like we did in the standing forward pose. A few more breaths here. And 5. Inhale, look up. Exhale, release the pose. Now, when we're doing the full series, we do 3 of those. So let's do a second one. You can, again, if you want to, bring your hands up and over and just repeat. If you are to the point in your practice where you can take the outside edges of your feet, that could be the next second version. One more breath. And inhale, look up. Exhale, release the pose. So next time maybe we'll do a third one. But we're going to move on to the next pose in this little series of forward folds. The hands are going to come behind us about 8 to 10 inches. Fingers are forward, thumb is towards the center. And this really opens up the shoulders. bringing the elbows towards each other in the back. Notice how that opens up the shoulders. And this may be as far as you go for a good long time. I'll show you where it can go next. It's called tabletop, where you bring your hips up in this way, bending the knees. The full expression of this pose is to have your heels down, shoulders going towards each other in the back, and lifting the hips in this way. Last breath. Exhale as you come down. Cross at the ankles. We're going to do a vinyasa from the seated position. So cross here, bring your hands forward, and step back into that high plank, low plank. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. And come into your seated position again. So we're just going to do those poses. I'm going to repeat them so you can remember them. There was Dandasana. This was the first one, where you just sit tall and you want your toes to go up if you can. A lot of times our hamstrings make it so that it just hurts for a while, and where our toes will just kind of drop forward. But eventually we're wanting to have the toes up and the heels are going towards the opposite wall in front of you. So Dandasana. The second one is Paschimottanasana, which is a forward fold. I like to bring my hands, scoop my belly up, and then come forward. We want the up and over. What we don't want is this, with this curved back. That will eventually really start to hurt your low back. So it's important on the forward fold to bring it up and over the femurs and keep the back pretty straight. So that this is Paschimottanasana, and then Purvottanasana, bringing the hands behind us, 8 to 10 inches, opening the shoulder. This might be all that you do at first, or you might do tabletop, or if it feels okay for you, you lift up and your heels are on the ground and the head is back. Exhale down. Cross of the ankles. This is for memorization. Coming forward into the vinyasa. Elbows towards the ribs on the chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. And now we're going to go into our closing. So this is going to be a pretty short practice. The ideal is for you to do that enough so that, oh yeah, I have that memorized. I know the first 3 poses in seated. So you're memorizing the Sunsalutes, the standing poses that we went over today, which were forward folds and triangle. These 3 seated poses that are based on Dandasana. And now we're going to do 2 closing poses. You should have learned this when you were learning the Sunsalutes, but I will teach you one more time. This is Yoga Mudra. Bring the hand forward, thumb down. Let that come on around until it's folded in the back. Now your palm is facing away from your body. And the other one, this opens up the shoulders. Maybe you can take your forearms or your elbows with your hands sitting up tall. Then it's an exhale, forward fold. And we just breathe right here for 5, let's make it 8 breaths. The eyes can be closed. This is called Yoga Mudra. The point of this pose is to bring all of the energy that you have built during your practice into your body. Bringing the energy towards the center of your body. Feeling in a more and more relaxed state. Breathing. One more breath. On the next inhale, sit back up and bring your hands forward with the palms up. The wrists are resting on your knees. Elbows are straight. This is Padmasana. This is kind of the most iconic pose, perhaps, for like if you're looking for an icon for yoga, this is it. There is often what you will see is a yoga mudra, a hand mudra, and this is like the okay sign. That stands for knowledge. So during this pose, you would be asking for knowledge. Right now, I'm going to suggest that we have the palms straight up, all the fingers straight. This hand mudra represents receiving. So we're trying to receive good energy through this practice. Keep the elbows in a straight alignment. And we're going to do 10 slow inhales and exhales. And it's a 10 count breath. So exhale all of your air and inhale slowly, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Exhale slowly, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Inhale slowly, 3, 8, 9, 10. Exhale slowly, 3, 7, 8, 9, 10. Inhale. And exhale, 2. Inhale. Exhale. Eyes are open, looking down at the mat in front of you, sitting tall. Elbows are straight. Inhale. Exhale. And you're counting to 10 as you do this. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Doing that count inside of your head. Around the inhale. And exhale, counting to 10. And you might go slower or faster. This is the last one. Looking down at the mat. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. And exhale, 2, 3, 4. Now you can let your elbows relax, release, and just feel your body for a moment. Your eyes can be open or closed, whatever you're comfortable with. And this is a time just to be in touch with yourself at a deeper level. And when you're doing your own practice, you can stay here as long as you want. But for right now, we're going to go ahead and go into our final closing pose, which is Shavasana. On one of the pages on the website, I explain quite extensively about Shavasana. I'll put that in the description so you have a direct link to where I talk about Shavasana. Sometimes I play music during Shavasana if my mind is really busy, but in Ashtanga Vinyasa, there is really no music. That's not part of the protocol. So in order to go to our final pose, we're going to come forward into one more Vinyasa. Stepping back, high plank to low plank. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. And then just put your knees down on the mat and turn over so that you're facing straight up. Maybe tucking your shoulders under a little bit more, palms towards the ceiling, closing the eyes and finding absolute relaxation in this Shavasana. Shavasana stands or is translated as corpse pose. So I love that we get to think about death. It's part of life and not be afraid of it. And we're practicing to die beautifully, to die well every time we do our yoga practice. In some ways, we die every day when we sleep. And sometimes we sleep well and sometimes we don't. I'm going to give it some quiet space here for you to just sink into the ground. Check your jaw. Is it tight? Release it if it is. Check your shoulders. Release them, let them be soft. Your chest. Your upper arms, your lower arms, your fingers. Your abs, the abdomen area, just soften it. The glutes, the buttocks, if they are tight, let them release and soften. All the way down your legs. Notice what touches the ground, what doesn't. Even release and relax the bottom of your feet and the top of your head. Usually you want to go a good 10 minutes in this resting position, but for the sake of the recording, I'm going to bring you out of Shavasana. You could turn off the recording and turn it back on when you're ready to finish if you aren't ready to finish yet. But keeping the eyes closed, turn to one side or the other, like you're turning in your bed. Maybe wiggle your fingers and toes a little bit. Again, with the eyes closed, I like to use my arm as a pillow. Just be in this side position for a moment. Notice how that feels on your body. And then, keeping the eyes closed, push yourself up into a seated position. Notice how that feels to move with eyes closed. And in a comfortable seated position, whatever that is for you, take a big breath and release it. Let's do one more big inhale and release through the mouth. Bring your left hand up as if covering your heart, and then bring your right hand over your left hand and give yourself a little hug in a way with your hands over your hearts. And make a promise to yourself that you will always, always be kind to yourself. So often we have self-talk that is negative. So take a moment right now with your hands over your heart and think of something that you're grateful for and give yourself some positive and sincere compliment. What is something you are really good at and you know it? Feel the warmth of your hands over your heart. And know that every single day you can bring warmth into your life just by bringing that promise back every day that you will be kind to yourself. I promise as you learn to be more and more kind to yourself, you'll be able to share that with others. That's what yoga is really about, is bringing more love into our personal lives and then sharing that love with others around us. So bringing the hands in Anjali Mudra or prayer, we're going to do one single Om to close the practice. Eyes are still closed. Exhale the air. Inhale in Om. Slowly bring your eyes open. Thank you for watching this video, for being a part of Ashtanga Vinyasa Yoga. Again, the whole purpose is to find more love within ourselves and then share that love with everyone else. So by doing this, we make the world a better place. We make my world a better place. Have a great day. Namaste.